If you have Crohn's, you know what it feels like to be tired all the time. Because it's not enough to feel physically sick. We got to be totally exhausted too. Whoever invented this illness sucks. In this video, I'm going to share 7 things that help me boost my energy while battling Crohn's. I was diagnosed with severe Crohn's at 17. The docs told me I had it bad, would never get off medication, and be very lucky to avoid surgery. But many moons later, I'm in the best health and shape of my life, completely off medication and in total remission. This channel is here to help you master good health habits so that you can take back control of your health. What's the first thing we need to do if we want to boost our energy? Well, sleep more and get higher quality sleep. Now, you're probably sitting there thinking, wow, Nate, thank you for the revolutionary piece of advice. I'm so glad I'm watching this video. But here was my problem. I looked at myself as a normal person. I would sleep for 6 to 8 hours a night, expecting to feel well rested and recovered afterwards, only to wake up totally disappointed, feeling completely exhausted and wondering what was wrong with me. Well, I wasn't a normal person at all. If health was on a scale from 0 to 100, 0 being abysmal and 100 being fantastic, I was somewhere in the, negative 50 range. And when I realized that, I started to treat myself like a kid again. I started to take naps. I used to sleep for 16 hours a day. I would try to sleep for 8 to 10 hours at night and then take naps throughout the day. Because if you've had Crohn's for any length of time, that it is very hard to get 8 to 10 hours of uninterrupted sleep when you're up and down to the bathroom constantly and your stomach is in knots. So utilize naps. Sleep is the best way to recover. And I know sometimes it's hard to get large chunks of time. So treat yourself like a kid again and take that nap you've always been wanting. Now, this leads into number 2, which is the reasons people always give me when I say this, that they can't do said napping. I have kids, I have a job, I have responsibilities. I can't just lie down and take a nap. Well, back in the day, my Netflix account would have said otherwise. The accumulated hours would have allowed for a lot more napping. But that aside, here's the truth. If you're really sick with a chronic illness like I was, life is not optimal. And what we tend to do is try and sweep that under the rug. Pretend like it's going to go away. I did this for years and years and years. I tried to throw medications at it, just ignore it, pretend like it didn't exist. But the reality of my situation was that my body was not functioning very well. And that was impacting every area of my life. It was impacting how I showed up for work, how I was with my friends, how I was with my family, how I was with my significant other, and I wasn't able to be the person that I wanted to be because of this extreme lack of energy and motivation and drive. And when I realized that I needed to bump my health priority up from, 10 to number 1. I needed to take this seriously. And just doing that doesn't remove the responsibilities. It doesn't remove the fact that you go to work. It doesn't remove the fact that you may have kids that you have to look after. But if you look at your life and say, my health is the number 1 priority, you will start to shift things around. Your calendar will start to change. Instead of watching Netflix, maybe you're going to go for a walk. Instead of saying yes to every volunteer obligation that comes your way, maybe you're going to take a nap. So I would encourage you, if you haven't sat with this and realized this is a real thing, this is a serious thing. I know I don't need to tell you that, but you would be surprised. A lot of people told me to slow down and to relax and that I needed to spend more time working on my health, and I ignored them for quite some time. So when I say these things, I say it out of love, and because that's what I needed to hear back in the day. I needed someone to sit me down and say, Nate, all your go, 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 all your A-type personality, all your giving, all your sharing, all that wonderful stuff is so fantastic and so great, but dude, you feel sick all the time. You're exhausted all the time. You need to take a second. You need to take a pause and make your health the number 1 priority. Number 3, what do most people turn to when they're tired? Well, caffeine. Have more coffee, have an energy drink. The problem is, if you have Crohn's, a lot of these energy drinks and coffees, first of all, are filled with sugars and bad stuff, and second of all, usually can kind of upset our systems. For me, when I was really sick, I could not drink coffee at all, and definitely not an energy drink. That was totally off the table. You may be different than me, and if you are, then yes, have some in moderation, but do be cautious. One rule of thumb that I use regarding caffeine is to stop drinking it about 10 hours before I go to bed, because I'm feeling much better now, obviously, and I love coffee. So I do drink a fair amount of coffee, but I try and stop around noon to 1 because I usually go to bed around 10 or 11. This helps me get good quality and good restorative sleep. But for most of you out there, if you're really sick with Crohn's right now, I would just avoid it entirely, especially if you're trying to take all these naps. You need to rest. You need to let your body relax and recover. You don't need to be inducing a bunch of caffeine into the system. So if you can, I would avoid caffeine as much as possible and use it, if your body tolerates it, for those emergency situations when you need the extra boost. Number 4 is meditation. Now, normally I'm not a super energy medicine woo-woo type of guy. I'd rather do an insane and CrossFit workout and die of intensity than meditate. But after implementing this practice 8 years ago now, I have absolutely noticed the benefits. It's one of the most game-changing things for the amount of time invested. I only usually meditate for about 20 minutes a day, and that has produced compounding results over time. There's something about taking a pause in the middle of your day, relaxing, breathing, resetting, reassessing, and it has the benefits of almost a 45-minute to an hour nap. So if you're saying, hey, Nate, I don't have time to do this napping thing, why not try meditating for 20 minutes? And if you're sitting there thinking, I've tried meditation, it doesn't work, these styles don't work for me, I always just sit there and think about the white wall and I can't, it's just too confusing. Check out the book in the description below. Light Watkins wrote Bliss more. He's my personal meditation teacher. I've been to some of his events, read his book. His meditation practice is the one I've been following for 8 years now, and it's absolutely game-changing for me. Super simple, super basic. Anybody can do it. It's not about staring at a white wall and concentrating and this stressful thing. It's very, very relaxing. So if you've had trouble with meditation, pick up that book, check it out. It will change the game for you. Number 5, good rest starts in the morning. We think that it's all about getting a good night's sleep, but waking up and doing the right things in the morning helps set you up for a good night of sleep. Morning routines have been slightly oversold, in my opinion. I used to be guilty of having the guy that had a 2 to 3 hour morning routine, and I would get done with my morning routine and be exhausted and not actually be able to do any work. Now it's about 30 minutes. I wake up, I shower, I finish the shower with a cold shower for about 2 minutes. Then I go outside and do a little meditation for 15 minutes, and then I get my cup of coffee and dive into work. That's something that's worked really well for me. But a few things there. The first thing is a cold shower. If you've never done these before, it's not very fun. Not everyone likes to do them, but there's something about doing something difficult first thing in the morning and conquering a little goal. Even if it's just for 20 seconds or 30 seconds, you finish your shower with a little bit of cold water and you conquer that voice inside your head that's saying, no, I can't do this. But you push through and you do it. It will also really wake you up. If you've never had a cold shower before, you do a cold shower for a little while, you're definitely awake. Then I meditate outside. Going outside, even if it's cloudy, even if it's overcast, helps set our body up for a good night of sleep. I'm personally not a scientist, but I've done a lot of study and research in this area, and it does absolutely have benefits. Then I do some sort of meditation practice outside. Whatever works for you. Maybe you go for a walk or stretch. Doing a walk in the morning outside will really help set your day up. It's not a thing that takes a whole lot of time. And again, it has a huge compounding benefit over time. Number 6, laugh with friends. I neglected this for way too long, but I don't blame myself because having Crohn's can be isolating. What do most people do when they hang out? They drink and they eat. A lot of times with Crohn's, most of us can't drink at all. I certainly couldn't. And most of the food that's on menus in restaurants or fast food or wherever they're going is not palatable for us or will cause us to be sprinting to the bathroom. So what I did for a long time is people would invite me out to drinks or out to a place I couldn't eat, and I would just say, no, sorry, I can't. This led me to being very isolated because eventually people stopped asking me out. They got tired of being told no. Then what I ended up doing was when someone invited me out for a night on the town or for happy hour, I would say, sorry, I can't come. I can't drink right now. I'm not feeling very good, but I would really love to see you guys. Maybe after happy hour, you guys could come over for a game night. Just bring some drinks. You guys can drink. I won't be drinking, but we could all play games or watch movies together or do something together. I started putting myself out there, inviting people over, because the truth of the matter is most of my friends still wanted to hang out with me. Some of them didn't, of course, but most people still wanted to hang out with me. They just didn't realize that I was saying no because I couldn't drink or I didn't want to be around that food, or it was just too hard for me to even leave the house at that point because I was so sick. So invite people over, reach out to people. Do not try to go this alone. It won't work. It'll make it so much harder than it needs to be. There's plenty of benefit and goodness about learning to be alone and learning to be okay inside of yourself, but you don't want to just be a man or woman alone in this journey. It's already hard enough. And laughing with friends, playing board games, watching movies, having people over, and having a good time around something that's not just food and drink is really going to help set you up for success. Please, please don't be like me. Take this advice to heart and invite people over. Reach out to people. Be the person that sets things up in a way that you're able to attend. Number 7, the final one, exercise, workout, move. I know if you're really sick with Crohn's, this can be insanely hard. But what happened to me is I would get really sick and then I would just lay in bed and I wouldn't want to exercise. I wouldn't want to move. And then I would feel not only physically sick, but emotionally and mentally sick and down as well. This is not good. And exercise is the world's number one antidepressant. So even if it's just a simple thing like walking around outside your house or doing some yoga in the backyard, something simple and easy. To give you an idea, when I was in a flare, I would literally go outside with my yoga mat. I would do 5 push-ups on my knees, 5 squats, and walk around the house. I would do this 1, maybe 2, 3 times, and the next day I would literally be sore. That's how deconditioned and debilitated my body was. But I just kept building on that, kept doing that, and slowly worked my way back up. This not only helped my physical body, it's great for your physical body to move, but helped maintain my mood because I wasn't just laying in bed all the time. So if you're really stuck on exercise and you find yourself just laying in bed, doom scrolling TikTok or watching a bunch of videos, get up, get outside, buy a yoga mat, do some stretching outside. It does not have to be complicated. Don't make it more complicated than it is, but it is, again, invaluable for the amount of time that you invest. 15 to 30 minutes is really going to help increase your mood, boost your energy, and help you physically recover as well. If you're really stuck and don't know where to get started with exercise, check out this video over here. I talk about how to exercise safely and effectively with Crohn's, what the body does when you exercise, how to ramp yourself up to harder and harder exercises, getting more confidence in the gym. And I also have a completely free workout PDF there that you can download to help you get started. It's got demo videos, it's got reps, sets, all that stuff in order for you to help get moving in the right direction. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've gotten value out of this, and I hope it helps you get more energy and more vibrancy in your life. Take care.